Hi everybody, welcome into the Summer Wellness Series, Best Tips by Global Experts. I am Fiorenza Rossini, an NLP life coach working with driven millennials to create a happy, balanced and fulfilling life. I'm also the founder of this group, the Busy Bees community. Today I'm your host and we will be talking with Shannon about nutrition and safe beauty. Hi Shannon, I'm just gonna briefly introduce you. So Shannon here, Shannon is the creator of the Happy WifeStyle blog. She's also a holistic health practitioner and a senior director at Beautycounter. Hi Shannon, welcome. How are you?
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
It is absolutely my pleasure. Thank you for being here. So maybe before we start the Q&A, you could tell us more about you, what you do, and your businesses.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm excited. So a little bit about me. I live in Northern California above San Francisco. I live with my husband and my two dogs. If you follow me, you might know my two dogs. They're
too cute.
I talk about them a lot. Yes, I'm a blogger. I have a blog called happywifestyle.com that I've had for about 3 years, and I'm Nutritious Life certified. I'm a holistic health practitioner, and I'm a senior director with Beautycounter. And what I just love to do is inspire women to be leaders in their own life. I think too many women have kind of fallen into complacency and mediocrity, and that's no way to live. So I love being an inspiration for women to, dream bigger and get back to the dreams that they always wanted to have. And two of the things that I really love teaching women is to be advocates for their own health. I think these days, especially, it's so important. So those are the two things. There's two things that I really focus on, and those are the two things we're going to talk about today.
I love it. I love it. And I really love the fact that you're multidimensional. You have different angles, but the same, like a common holistic cause. Maybe we could start off with your blog. I would love to know how you got started into it.
Absolutely. So it's kind of a funny story. I always laugh when I tell this story because, I'd always been kind of passionate about health and nutrition and fashion and all kinds of different things. But I think what really spurred the blog was clean eating. I decided to, I was over 40 and I started feeling kind of sick and tired. And I thought, this is not the route I want to go. And so I actually thought, I'm going to eat really clean for 2 weeks and just see what it does for me. And that's the first time I really tried the paleo diet. Mm-hmm. And in 2 weeks, what really struck me was how fast I felt better. As far as energy and just felt better. My skin started looking better. And so that's what really spurred it. And I think I was so excited about it that I started talking about it more. And so people were, it was this one day, somebody called me to ask me about the way I was eating or what I was doing. And I would get so excited and talk to my husband, and we were cooking dinner. And he was, and I was just, it's so funny because you and I have talked about this. I'm like totally introverted normally and kind of quiet unless I'm super passionate about something, then you can't shut me up.
I'm the same. Yeah, I get you.
Chatting about this person I had talked to that day and how I helped her. And my husband was like, you should start a blog. And that's literally all it took. I think I just needed somebody to have that confidence in me that I didn't have in myself yet. And it just, because I think it's something secretly I'd always wanted to do, but it was just, that's what it took. And so from that moment, I just said, okay. And I literally Googled how to start a blog because I knew absolutely nothing. And it just felt right to me. And I jumped on it and I started the next day and I've never stopped since. So sometimes, what's really cool about that is now I get to help other women start blogs and businesses through coaching. And, what I always tell people, it takes a lot of self-motivation because there's nobody telling you to do this every day. So you do have to have a passion for it. But it takes some motivation and confidence. So a lot of times I work with women to do that. But I always tell people that even though something has been done before, it hasn't been done from your point of view. So
Absolutely.
I think that everybody has something to share, and everybody's an expert at something.
Yeah, no, that's right. And it's true that when you start reading, when you start reading online about creating a blog, and you would easily find articles or, courses that talk about finding your niche, that you absolutely have to find your niche, otherwise it's going to be too difficult. But then if you get stuck into that finding niche, concept, you may actually be, chasing something like really unique, but you're thinking unique not in terms of your experience, but you may be thinking unique in terms of just like the theme, and then you may struggle, but actually your experience is really what makes it unique.
Absolutely. Everybody has their unique perspective.
Yeah. So I follow your blog, but I also follow your Instagram. And there was, your posts are always great. I'm always like very happy to be reading them, the dogs, the fashion, all that. And also about nutrition, there was, you had a post recently, I think just a few days ago, and it was about quality over quantity, and how quality is more important when it comes to food compared to quantity. And I think it makes sense, and maybe, most of us would agree to that. But to me, when I see that, like when I see this concept, when I see this written, it really resonates with me. And I'm like, yes, that is right. And it helps me get motivated. So I know food is a broad topic, but what will be your insights on nutrition and food?
Well, yeah, I'm glad you've mentioned that post, because I think that that's such a great place to start with a lot of people. And what that post was really saying that, when your body's hungry, it's craving nutrients, not calories. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of people make. They start falling, I think we're focusing on so many of the wrong things sometimes, and we're focusing on counting calories and counting points, and we're not paying attention to the quality of nutrients that we're getting in our body. So it's not about eating less, it's about eating the right foods. And so that's what I like to focus on when I talk to people about nutrition. I try and get them away from the weight loss and getting them off the scale that sometimes dictates their day, that number. It's ridiculous. And it's so common. So I really like to really get back to basics with people and focus on prevention and nutrition and actually nourishing the body, because everybody can kind of get it when you talk about that. And that's that post was, when we give the body nutrition, you get satiated and satisfied, where if you're eating food that doesn't have any nutrition and nutrients in it, your body just is still waiting for the nutrition to come, and you're just still hungry. And you're so hungry, and you don't stop eating until you're physically full. That's a difference. Your brain should get that trigger that it's had enough nutrition. So many people have moved away from that. So I love kind of bringing people back to basics, what our body's meant to be getting. So yeah, food is such a big topic. I like to just remind people that food is just food. We can have it anytime we want. I think that that's a great mantra. Food is just food. We can have it anytime we want.
I like that.
Most people are in this deprivation mindset, right? And that's dangerous. So I think I like to teach people that nutrition is actually a powerful tool to actually heal our bodies. So, why don't people know more about nutrition actually healing diseases and symptoms in our body? It's because when we normally go to the doctor, in the United States anyway, we're not being prescribed nutrition, right? We're being prescribed medication. And I think that there's a lot of power in healing the body through nutrition. So I think I mentioned this before. But also, so many, you know, most people are concerned with weight loss though, right? And I know that that's important to people, right? And it's important for our health, with the obesity epidemic, you know, even with children these days. So, but when we focus on health and prevention, the weight loss is actually a side effect. So yes, even if we don't focus on that, it's going to happen. Yes. So I like to, you know, make sure people know that too. One thing that I want to
positive side effect, right?
Yes. It's a good side effect. So one thing I wanted to mention today for your followers that, I wanted to talk a little bit about inflammation in the body, because I think that this isn't talked about enough. I mean, in our world, you know, we hear about gut health and inflammation and things like that, but mainstream, you know, America isn't really hearing about this, or they don't really understand it. And I don't want to get too deep into it, but I just want to mention just a really easy way that I explain it to people. So there's a big difference between acute inflammation and chronic inflammation. So acute inflammation is good. So acute inflammation is like, let's say you get a cut on your hand, and it gets a little red, it gets a little swollen, and it heals and it's gone. That is focused. That's your body. It's inflammation, but it's very focused and it's doing its job. So many people don't trust their bodies anymore to heal itself. You know, they have no trust anymore, because like I said, we go to the doctor. There's a pill for everything these days. We think that we have to heal our bodies from the outside in, when really we can heal it from the inside out. And so that is good inflammation. Now, what's bad inflammation is chronic inflammation. So that's an inflammation that is constantly going on, and it starts in the gut. And when we're feeding our body that, you know, anti-nutrients and empty calories and things that are making our gut sick, we have this chronic, you might have heard, like low-grade inflammation, systemic inflammation, chronic inflammation. I kind of call it spinning its wheels, like it's just constantly trying to heal itself and it's not getting anywhere. That chronic low-grade inflammation is really dangerous. And that's really the core of your immune system, and all these symptoms that are manifesting these days, with autoimmune diseases and things like that, it really all starts in the gut. So I really like to focus on healing the gut, because I think that can be a tool to optimum health.
It makes me think of a book that I read last year, and if I remember correctly, it's called Gut, and it's written by Julia Enders, if I'm correct. Have you heard of it?
I have not read that. I haven't.
I'll send I'm not affiliate with her at all, but I really like the link, the book, and I'll put the link in the comments. And okay, I thought it was like a real introduction. Well, at least to me, it was really like an awakening about how our gut is important in our health, and how it is a pivot in a way. That was really eye-opening. And so what can we do? What would be the easy steps to start paying more attention to the type of food that we put in, the type of food that we buy in order to cook and to put in later? What could we do?
Well, I mean, I usually tell people, you know, a lot of people see that I'm a paleo blogger, and so they kind of get the misconception that that's what I'm advocating for everybody, and that's totally not the case. That just happens to be what works for me. So I don't think there's one eating style that's right for everybody across the board. I think that the key is finding the right diet, and when I say diet, I mean eating style, that's right for each of us, because what's right for me might not be what's right for you, and might not be what's right for the next person. So it's about designing your best eating style that's going to make you feel your best. And one thing I always tell people is it's kind of a sad thing that that most people will never feel as good as their body is designed to feel. And so I love having people maybe, I'm a huge fan of elimination diets, because that really gets you down to the base, and then you can add things back in and really design your eating style that makes you feel your best. So things that you can do. So I think that one thing, so here's a few things that I hope, I can leave you guys with. So I think it's really important to drink water right when you wake up. Some people add lemon, which is great. That's really detoxing, things like that. But I think just back to basics, water. I think the biggest trick that I teach people is go to bed with a glass of water by your bedstand. A lot of us do that, and then we don't end up drinking it through the night, and it's sitting there in the morning, and we just take it to the kitchen and we get our coffee, right? So drink it before you do anything else. Finish that glass of water. It's just a good habit to get into it. It hydrates your organs and just helps flush the body out. And then hydrate throughout the day. I think most of us are walking around dehydrated, and we need to hydrate more and make sure that we're drinking enough water. I think that we need to start, really focusing on limiting processed packaged foods, and start eating real whole foods. When you walk through the grocery store today, the most of the store is processed packaged foods that has empty calories and no nutrition in it. So start eating real whole foods. I think that's really simple, but actually people aren't doing it these days. So that's a big one. And then if you do buy packaged food, I love teaching people to become a master at reading ingredients. I think that reading ingredients is the only thing you need to look at on a package. Too many people look at calories and the nutrition facts. I don't even look at that. I only look at ingredients. So it's important to know your ingredients and know if it's something you're going to buy or put back on the shelf, because that's where you're going to learn what's really in the food. I think that we need to eliminate all artificial sweeteners. I think that they're the devil. I think if one food item was literally the devil of all, to be eliminated from the planet, it's diet soda. I think that is just a horrible food, and people think that that's diet food and it's going to be good for them. It's absolutely horrible. I think we need to start cooking at home more. I think that's the only way to really know what's in our food. And limit going out to eat. I mean, I go out to eat, but you can learn to make healthier choices, but unless we're cooking at home, we really don't know what's in there, and because it comes down to different oils and things like that. Even though you're ordering something healthy, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and they can be using unhealthy oils that cause inflammation and all these things. So cook at home. And then pay attention to the quality of your food. I think this is a big one with meats. I happen to eat paleo because I have access to really high quality meat. If you don't, I think you shouldn't eat it because it can be really unhealthy. Yeah. I think that food prep is a huge one, because when we get hungry, we start looking through the pantry, and if we have healthy food that's readily available to us, cooked and prepped and ready to go, we will choose those options. Otherwise, we're going to be on the phone ordering pizza, and you're just going to go down that unhealthy road, right? So I've done it myself. So and another thing that's really kind of old school, but I think it works, is journaling. I think that if you journal what you eat, especially in the beginning when you're just starting to try and eat healthier, I think that journaling is huge, because you're kind of having to be accountable to yourself, and you kind of think twice. If you're just going to mindlessly put something in your mouth, you have to write it down later. You're going to think twice. So it works.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's important to be easy with ourselves a little bit and not be so strict, and don't deprive ourselves, and allow ourselves like a conscious indulgence every once in a while. If it's worth it, have it, but we just need to do those things without guilt. and allow ourselves to do that every once in a while. Because, if you just, live in a deprived state all the time, that's not healthy. We need to enjoy life. So I think that you need to allow yourself that every once in a while. And I really wanted to talk about a couple of documentaries that I think that everybody should watch. They're on Netflix.
Oh, yes. Please tell us.
No, these are amazing, and I think it can teach people a lot. So one is called What the Health. The other one is called Fed Up. And I think
are they on Netflix? I think
they're on Netflix, yes. Yes. So What the Health and Fed Up. I think that those are two really important documentaries that can teach us a lot about what's going on in the world, nutrition-wise.
Thank you so much for all these tips. I think there are a few that I've already been implementing, like the water thing. Yes, that's been hard, because as you said, we don't really realize that we don't drink enough water until maybe something happened, and then health-wise, and then you realize. That's how I realized, and I know that I'm not a good water drinker with a glass. I need to have a bottle. I need to have a bottle to carry with me all the time, and then and also it's easier to track how much water you've had, right?
Exactly. That's such a great tool. I'm so glad you mentioned that, because that if you have a bottle and you know how many ounces are in it, and you know how many times you have to fill that during the day to get your water in. It's such a great tool.
Absolutely. And I wanted to ask you, so how would you mentioned that what works for an individual is not necessarily going to work, for a friend or family member. And everyone has different eating style that work best for our bodies, and so on. And if we don't know what is our eating style, how do we go about it? Is it best to do an elimination diet?
My favorite tool that I use is the Whole30 program. I'm a huge advocate for that because it works. And I think there's a lot of people out there that have actually a misconception about the Whole30. They think it's a diet, and they look at it and they see the way people are eating on the Whole30, and they think that, oh, that's your diet now. And that's, they turn a Whole30 into a Whole 365. That's not what it is. It's a tool. It's a really valuable tool that teaches us something about ourselves. And it's 30 days. And so you eliminate inflaming foods actually for 30 days, and then you reevaluate. And they have a way to reintroduce certain foods one at a time to kind of really see how you feel. And from there, you can design your eating style that's best for you. You learn a lot from it. It's also a discipline. And I think that with that comes a lot of confidence if you can get through that. Too many people say, oh, this is hard. It's not hard. It's 30 days. So I always encourage people to try it because it literally changes lives and can heal your gut.
That's amazing. I haven't tried it yet, if I'm honest, but I'm quite excited now just to try it, to give it a try.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
No, sorry, finish.
I kind of have I also have another tool that I developed. It's called the 4-Day Beauty Detox, and I have it on my website, and it's kind of a mini jumpstart. And a lot of times when I lead people and lead groups through the Whole30, I will start them off with my beauty detox. It's just kind of a jumpstart 4-day plan that is, I've done all the work for you. And why I did this is because a lot of people who do the Whole30, it's kind of a loose plan. There's rules, but it's not super structured, like you need to eat this at this time, and people crave that, So for people who want that, at least to get them started, I developed this because it has a shopping list. Literally, you take your shopping list to the grocery store. It tells you exactly what to buy. It tells you exactly what to eat throughout the day for 4 days. So it's a great jumpstart to eating clean, real food.
That sounds amazing, and also maybe it provides some accountability because, you know, you're doing that. It's a tool, it's your tool. So then you're going to be asking, how did it go? And, you know, everything was given to you. So it's hard not to stick to it.
It even has checklists, like literally it's to the letter. So yeah, I've done all the work for you.
That sounds very good, and a really good jump start, as you mentioned.
I even use it, you know, just to get back on track sometimes, because it's 4 days, you know, and if you're feeling like you've just kind of gone off the rails a little bit, you can use that as a tool to just get back right back on track, because it helps you feel better.
And it can help because even if we have, you know, in general, a healthy diet, then you can have a holiday with friends. You can have, I don't know, like a wedding weekend, and then you go a bit off track. So actually to do a bit of a detox maybe, or, you know, just like keeping things back to track where they were meant to be. Just feel better.
Yeah, it's a great tool.
And what is your favorite ingredient or type of food?
This is a tough one because, I love food and there's so much good food out there. But I think that it really changes with the seasons. I think that, you know, in summertime when it's warmer, I'm really craving, you know, salads and maybe fish and tabbouleh and, you know, lighter, lemony, you know, things like that. And then when it gets cooler, I'm always craving soups and stews. And in the winter time, I love making chili and putting it on cauliflower rice. And, you know, it just, you know, I love that we have so much variety. And I really go with what my body wants, you know, and I think that we should listen to that. My husband and I go out to eat maybe once a week, and 9 times out of 10, it's sushi. So we love sushi. And
I'm with you there.
My favorite indulgent food, you know, if I'm going to cheat, is definitely Italian food. I love pizza. So like if I go to New York, I will eat pizza because it's worth it. And so, you know, I treat myself to that every time I go. But yeah.
I think we need to have international dinner parties together. We'll get along very well in the choices.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so as important as nutrition, today we wanted to talk about safe beauty and beauty from the inside out, because it's also something that you're very passionate about and something that you do and you advocate for. Could you tell us a bit more about how did you get started there? How did you get started with safe beauty?
Well, it's so important, and I'm so glad I stumbled across this, because it's you know, when I learned that there hasn't been a federal law passed in the U.S. regulating the beauty industry since 1938.
Wow.
I just couldn't even believe it. I thought, oh, what? That's crazy. And so since then, I've learned a lot about it. And so what I started learning was things like this. So there are 1,400 potentially toxic chemicals and ingredients that are banned from products in the EU, in the European Union. And that number in the United States is only 30. There are only 30 ingredients that are known to be harmful. It's crazy that some people think that the US is so great at this. We're the worst. And so when I started learning about this and what kinds of toxic ingredients and hormone disruptors and things like that were still in our products and were completely legal to put in our products and not really tell us even that they're in there, I got angry. And I think that a lot of women who have joined Beautycounter do it for this. It's a mission-based company. So we are a little bit about Beautycounter. We are a B Corp, which is really different than a lot of other beauty companies. So normally a company is all about profit, right? They have a bottom line. So if you're a B Corp, you actually have to qualify to become a B Corp. And that means you have a triple bottom line. So you are, it's about people, planet, and profit, and they're all on an equal playing field. And so Beautycounter is a B Corp, which was really important to me. I thought that was really cool. They're very mission-based. We're education-first company. So we really teach people how to choose safer products for people's family. And the reason it's, you know, this industry is so messed up is because it's a $60 billion industry, right? It's a big business. And so, you know, companies that are all about money are, we're sacrificing our health in the process. So I think this is a big one where we have to be advocates for our own health and start learning how to choose safer products, because people aren't going to do it for us. So, you know, Beautycounter offers high performing products too, because I mean, I learned a little bit about this before, you know, especially the big offenders, you know, like parabens and phthalates and things like that. And I'd go to Whole Foods and I would kind of pick out products, but the truth is they didn't perform well. They didn't perform like my other products. And I think women really want high performing products, but they also want the safety. So there isn't any other companies that are doing both of those things at the level that Beautycounter is. So I think that that's really cool. We're also trying to change beauty laws. So we're going all the way to Washington and trying to actually change the industry so that we have better beauty laws.
That is amazing. That's quite amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Really trying to have an impact and change the perception and the industry.
Yeah, it's just as important what we put on our bodies as what we put in our bodies. You know, and I think a lot of the even the healthiest people, you know, sometimes in my community and stuff, you know, you're eating right, you're exercising, but you're slathering your body with these hormone disruptors and carcinogens and stuff, and your kids, and people don't know about it.
Yeah.
So I love to.
And so how do we know? Is it like looking at the ingredients at the back, you know, of the cream jars, or, you know, how do we do it?
So my favorite tool, so that's what I used to think. I used to think as long as I looked at ingredients, kind of like with food, the food industry is more regulated than the beauty industry. So, you know, I always thought that at least if I looked at ingredients, I knew what I was getting. But in the beauty industry and the personal care industry across the board, it's not the case. They can actually legally not disclose what they're putting in the products. And one of the biggest offenders, and one of the things that you can really take away from this is look for the ingredient fragrance. So the ingredient, you know, you'll start noticing it more once you're aware of it. There's an ingredient called, if it says fragrance in the ingredient list, that's a huge red flag. And here's why. They can hide dozens of chemicals behind that one word. And it's completely legal because it's considered a trade secret, right? They don't, you know, that's kind of a loophole that they've gotten behind, but now they're hiding a lot of chemicals and hormone disruptors and things behind that word, and you don't know what it means. So I don't buy anything with the word fragrance anymore. That's one thing to start with. Another thing is there's a great app by the Environmental Working Group called the Healthy Living app.
Okay.
This is an app you can get on your phone, and you can start scanning products. And sometimes people laugh at me because I'll be in the middle of Target and I'm scanning sunscreens and stuff like that. But it will give you a score. So essentially it's 1 to 10, 1 being the safest, 10 being the most toxic. And it has to do with reproduction, cancer causing, and allergies. So it gives you a score, it tells you a lot of details, but you can learn about your products. So you can get the app. I recommend that everybody just start going through their cupboards and just start scanning your products, and you're going to learn a lot. And I think the best thing to do is just start swapping out your products. You know, we always teach people, you don't have to throw everything away because that could be expensive, right? But as you run out of things, start replacing them with a safer option. I think that's a great first step. And start replacing your biggest offenders first. your most toxic ones. But don't forget your shampoo, your toothpaste, your deodorant, your there's a lot of things, in your household. Think about all the products that your family's using every single day. And those things, your skin's your largest organ, and it only takes 26 seconds for something that you put on your skin to get directly into your bloodstream. So it's an important thing.
I didn't know about this app. I'm really glad you mentioned it. I'm gonna download it as soon as we stop talking. I'm just gonna put it there, and I'm gonna be scanning around the house.
And not every, just so you know, it's not a perfect tool. It's a great tool, but it's not a perfect tool. It has a database that's always growing. But if your products aren't in there, not all products are in the database. But here's two things, just something to think about with that too, is like I said, companies don't have to disclose what's in their products. So there's one of two reasons that something's not in the database. And one of those reasons is they haven't given the information that the database is asking for. So it's a little bit of a red flag if a product isn't in there too. Doesn't mean that the company's bad, but this is why I love Beautycounter. Beautycounter has developed what's called a never list. So they took those 1,400 ingredients that are banned in Europe, and they added to it. And they have a never list of 1,500 potentially toxic chemicals that they will never put in any Beautycounter product. So for me, that simplifies my life because, I think that a lot of women don't go down this road in the beginning because it's a rabbit hole, right? Once you start learning about this stuff, you can't unlearn it. And so you spend so much time researching, and is this ingredient good or bad? And it takes so much time. People just say, I'm out. They don't even go there. So I think that Beautycounter is a great way to actually simplify your life, because if you're choosing Beautycounter cosmetics or skincare or shampoo or whatever, I just know it's safe. It's safer. And that simplifies my life.
Is Beautycounter also in Europe, or is that in the US only?
Right now we're in US and Canada.
Okay.
Hopefully it will come, but and they have talked about that, but not yet.
It sounds like a great brand and already somehow aligned with European regulations. So maybe that seems like the natural next step to be in Europe, to come over in Europe.
Yeah, I think it will make its way. Yeah, I think they're working on it. It's just, there's all kinds of different laws in different countries. So it was a big deal even when we launched in Canada last year because there's different laws. So it takes time, but we'll get there.
Yeah, I'm quite excited to have it in the UK. Hopefully soon. And anyway, I'll get started with the app to hopefully not have too many bad surprises, but I'll let you know how it goes.
I want to hear. And if I need to send you some Beautycounter products, I might need to send you some products over there.
Okay, so conscious of time, I wanted to start wrapping it up. I wanted to ask you a question that is a bit, not related to nutrition, not related to safe beauty, but I wanted to know something about you, Shannon, from behind the scenes. A unique skill, or just tell us something from behind the scene.
Okay. Well, sometimes people are surprised what I used to do before I was a blogger. I was a registered veterinary technician for 17 years. So I'm a huge animal lover.
Me too.
I love the fur babies, but I did it for so long, but it wasn't really my passion because I just am not, my personality type isn't really good working for somebody else. I like working for myself. So it took me a long time to learn that because I was in that field for 17 years, but it was a great experience and I enjoyed that while I did it. But let's see, what else? I think I already mentioned that I'm completely introverted. A lot of people don't know that about me because they see this side of me that's super passionate, and I talk about things that I know that I'm passionate about, but I'm very introverted. I like being alone and recharging. And let's see, what else? Probably my party trick that's that's kind of fun is I can open a bottle of champagne with a knife. So one of the champagne sabers, I can open champagne with a saber, and I own my own saber.
Wow. I am glad I asked you this question.
It's really fun. I'll have to do it online on Instagram one of these days. And so let's probably, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, is it why then some people call you Paleo with a side of champagne?
Yes. I think if you follow me, you know that I love champagne. It's kind of become a part of my brand, and it's just a fun part of my brand because I love it. I think that it's not meant to save for a special occasion because every day is a celebration. So
I like that very much.
And then probably my funnest skill is I can run in heels.
Well done, well done. That takes a lot of practice.
Yes. No, I'm a total fashionista, so yeah, you'll find me in heels most days.
Love it, I love it. So Shannon, you mentioned the blog, you've mentioned Instagram. Can we follow you somewhere else? And would you mind putting your blog and Instagram links below in the comments so that people can follow you?
Absolutely, yeah. You can find me at happywifestyle.com. You can find me at Happy Wifestyle on all the social media sites. You can always email me at Shannon@happywifestyle.com. I love hearing from people. And yeah, that's where you can find me.
Awesome, awesome. And if I remember our chat from yesterday correctly, I think you had prepared a little surprise for my followers or for all the busy bees in this group. Do you want to tell us more about it?
Yes. So I wanted to leave you guys with something special. So I mentioned my 4-day beauty detox. So what I've done, if you go to happywifestyle.com, I've put it actually at the top in the announcement bar, so it's super easy to find. And if you click on that and you get my beauty detox, I want to give you guys a 50% off coupon.
Yay, thank you.
So it's, I can put this in the link below, but it's going to be, if you put in summer wellness, all caps, all one word, that will be the promo code to get 50% off. And it's normally only $9.99, so it's super cheap. So yeah, you'll save half off. And so you can find that on happywifestyle.com. I also want to give you guys a little incentive to switch to safer products. So if you go to happywifestylebeauty.com and you shop through my link to buy any Beautycounter products, if you spend $75 on any products before tax and shipping, I will send you a free face small sun stick. These are really great to tuck in your purse. Yeah. So yeah, and what you do, I'll put this in the link below too, but what you can do is just email me the receipt to Shannon@happywifestyle.com with the subject line, I switched to safer, and I'll know and I'll send you a freebie. And that is going to be open to United States and Canada right now.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all this great surprises.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a pleasure. It's
been a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much again. And to all the busy bees, we'll see you on Thursday. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.